12 Maxims definition: obedience, compliance with a command, prohibition or known law and rule of duty prescribed, the performance of what is required or enjoined by authority, or the abstaining from what is prohibited. In compliance with the command or prohibition. To constitute obedience, the act or forbearance to act must be in submission to authority, the command must be known to the person, and his compliance must be in consequence of it, or it is not obedience. Obedience is not synonymous with obsequiousness, the latter often implying meanness or servility, and obedience being merely a proper submission to authority. That which duty requires implies dignity of conduct rather than servility. Obedience may be voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary obedience alone can be acceptable to Allah. Modesty, the quality or state of being modest, that lowly temper which accompanies a moderate estimate of one's own worth and importance. Absence of self-assertion, arrogance, and presumption, humility respecting one's own merit. Natural delicacy or shame regarding personal charms and the sexual relation, purity of thought and manners. Due regard for propriety in speech or action. Gratitude, an emotion of the heart, excited by a favor or benefit received, a sentiment of kindness or goodwill towards a benefactor. Thankfulness, gratitude is an agreeable emotion, consisting in or accompanied with goodwill to a benefactor, and a disposition to make a suitable return of benefits or services, or when no return can be made, with a desire to see the benefactor prosperous and happy. Gratitude is a virtue of the highest excellence, as it implies a feeling and generous heart, and a proper sense of duty. The love of Allah is the sublimest gratitude. Charity, love, universal benevolence, goodwill, liberality in judging of men and their actions. A disposition which inclines men to put the best construction on the words and actions of others. The highest exercise of charity is charity towards the uncharitable, a disposition which inclines men to think and judge favorably. Liberality to the poor, consisting in almsgiving or benefactions, or in gratuitous services to relieve them in distress. It includes supreme love to Allah, and universal goodwill to men. Temperance, habitual moderation in regard to the indulgence of the natural appetites and passions, restrained or moderate indulgence. Moderation, as temperance in eating and drinking, temperance in the indulgence of joy or mirth, specifically, moderation, and sometimes abstinence. Temperance in eating and drinking is opposed to gluttony and drunkenness, and in other indulgences, to excess. Moderation of passion, patience, calmness, sedateness. Prudence. Prudence implies caution in deliberating and consulting on the most suitable means to accomplish valuable purposes, and the exercise of sagacity in discerning and selecting them. Prudence differs from wisdom in this, that prudence implies more caution and reserve than wisdom, or is exercised more in foreseeing and avoiding evil, than in devising and executing that which is good. It is sometimes mere caution or circumspection. Prudence is principally in reference to actions to be done, and due means, order, season and method of doing or not doing. Justice, the virtue which consists in giving to everyone what is his due. Practical conformity to the laws and to principles of rectitude in the dealings of men with each other. Honesty, integrity in commerce or mutual intercourse. Conformity to the principles of righteousness and rectitude in all things. Strict performance of moral obligations. Practical conformity to human or divine law in the dealings of men with each other. Rectitude, equity, uprightness. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Conformity to truth and reality in expressing opinions and in conduct. Fair representation of facts respecting merit or demerit. Honesty, fidelity, impartiality, sincerity, honesty of mind or intention, freedom from simulation or hypocrisy. We may question a man's prudence, when we cannot question his sincerity. Freedom from hypocrisy, disguise or false pretense, as the sincerity of a declaration or of love. Diligence, steady application in business of any kind, constant effort to accomplish what is undertaken. Exertion of body or mind without unnecessary delay or sloth, due attention, industry, assiduity. Diligence is the philosopher's stone that turns everything to gold. Interested and persevering application, devoted and painstaking effort to accomplish implying an habitual devotion to labor for some valuable end, as knowledge, property, etc. Diligence denotes earnest application to some specific object or pursuit, which more or less directly has a strong hold on one's interests or feelings. Benevolence, the disposition to do good. Goodwill, charitableness, love of mankind, accompanied with a desire to promote their happiness. An act of kindness, good done, charity given. Benevolence marks a disposition made up of a choice and desire for the happiness of others. Beneficence marks the working of this disposition in dispensing good on a somewhat broad scale. Science, the knowledge, or certain knowledge, the comprehension or understanding of truth or facts by the mind. The science of Allah must be perfect. Knowledge of principles and causes. Ascertained truth of facts. Accumulated and established knowledge, which has been systematized and formulated with reference to the discovery of general truths or the operation of general laws. Knowledge classified and made available in work, life, or the search for truth. Comprehensive, profound, or philosophical knowledge. Especially such knowledge when it relates to the physical world and its phenomena, the nature, constitution, and forces of matter, the qualities and function of living tissues, etc. Religion, the outward act or form by which men indicate their recognition of the existence of Allah having power over their destiny, to whom obedience, service, and honor are due. The feeling or expression of human love, fear, or awe of some superhuman and overruling power, whether by profession of belief, by observance of rites and ceremonies, or by the conduct of life. A system of faith and worship, a manifestation of piety, a belief in the being and perfections of Allah, in the revelation of His will to man, in man's obligation to obey His commands, in a state of reward and punishment, and in man's accountableness to Allah, and also true godliness or piety of life, with the practice of all moral duty.